Hi everyone. This is week 12 of study skills for this year. This is actually our last class. We're going to have an exercise to do for next week, but after today, that's the only thing left is to do this final exercise, and that's for next week. We'll talk about the final exercise here at the end of the video before we close out here for today. Today, what we're going to do is a little bit of a review, just a short review, and we're going to try to review some of the highlights of this year, some of the things that we've talked about this year, some of the things you've learned this year that you want to remember as you get ready for what's coming, high school and beyond. Today we're going to take a quick walk down memory lane. We're going to touch on just some of the highlights of what we talked about this year. We'll start back at our first class on September 19th all the way through to today, April the 30th. We started back in the fall. We started with time management, making good use of your time, managing your time well. We talked about the different strategies. One of them was called divide and conquer. The strategy of divide and conquer. We use that to accomplish more of our task in less time, more efficiently, by dividing up tasks that can feel overwhelming into smaller, more doable parts. We also talked about the other tools like month at a glance calendar and week at a glance calendar to keep you alert to what's coming at you as far as things go in schoolwork wise, when things are due. Also other areas of your life that can impact how you're using your time, the negotiable ones and the non-negotiable ones. You can see them ahead of time before they happen there on your month at a glance calendar or your week at a glance calendar. It's a great tool for helping you manage your time. Then we talked about how to make the most of your prime time. That's the time during the day, depending on how you're wired, whether you're what we call a chicken or an eagle, or chicken or a owl. That's it. Sorry, a chicken or an owl. Up in the morning with the chickens, or up late at night like an owl. But or even during the day, what's your prime time? What's the best time of the day for you to focus, concentrate, stay on task, and how to leverage that to get some of your more difficult and challenging tasks done during your prime time. We talked about how to be aware of and deal with both internal and external distractions. Those are things that will really take up your time. Some we noted were internal distractions, some were external distractions, and you deal with them differently. We also talked about how to develop the valuable skill of undistracted concentration. It's a skill that's learned. Remember, we talked about that diver high on the platform in the Olympics, ready for the dive of his life, and how he was able to control what he heard, distractions from things he heard or could see or feel, or all of the distractions he might have for the dive of his Olympic life. He had developed the skill of undistracted concentration, so that the only thing that was on his mind was the dive of his life, the dive he was about to take. And that principles there you can learn so you can become a more focused and attentive, more efficient user of your time. Then we talked about setting up a study area and how it's important to have the right tools there, and how you can set it up so that you can work more efficiently there, how you can set it up in a way that it becomes the place that your body and your mind, once you arrive there, your body and your mind are just ready to go to work, because that's what you do in your study area. We talked about setting up that study space, the best kinds of chairs and workspace, desks, and things like that. Then we moved on to note taking, and we spent some time learning about things like abbreviated writing and telegraph writing. These are ways that you can get more words down on paper in far less time, so you don't miss things, so you're more efficient getting notes down on paper using your abbreviated writing that you can develop yourself. and also telegraph writing, so you can make sentences down into their smallest form. Then we moved on from there to the Cornell note-taking system. The Cornell note-taking system, we learned about memory cues and summaries and how to lay out pages. So when you do your reviews, your memory cue reviews, summary reviews, things like that, how to use that system to help implant the information in your notes into your memory, into your brain. And we talked about how this is an especially helpful system when it's used to prepare, for exams and tests. And then we talked about how to evaluate different presenters, teachers, professors, things like that. We talked about how every teacher, every presenter has his or her own presentation style, the way they communicate information. And there's cues. Once you figure out how this person communicates, how they present material, it gives you insight into what's important to them, how to read their presentation style for your benefit. And then we, things like recognizing signal words and things as you evaluate a presenter's style. And then we moved on to test preparation, how to get ready for tests, how to prepare throughout the weeks or days ahead of a test, how to prepare the night before, how to actually take a test, how to attack and take certain types of questions on a test and make them, so you can get advantages on once you know how to attack a multiple choice question or a true and false question or short answer or essay questions. These are some of the topics that we talked about in preparation for the test. So these are just some of the main areas that we talked about this year. Let's talk about the final exercise. Let me give you some information on this final exercise as we wind down here for the year. First of all, the final exercise is going to come in the mail. We're going to mail it to you. And so you want to be looking for that. Number 2, the final exercise should take less than an hour, probably much less than an hour for you to do. Number 3, you want to make sure that you have a full, clean set of notes in your study skills notebook. In other words, as you start the exercise, you want to make sure you have a full notebook. You want to make sure all your information is at your fingertips in this notebook here. The exercise covers both semesters, the information on the first semester as well as what we talked about this last semester. Number 5, this is information about the final exercise. Number 5 is it's probably not the final exam that you may have expected, just so you know. Number 6, for some of you who are, let's say, how shall we say, worriers or have test anxiety, what I can say about that is when you complete this exercise, when you complete the final exercise, you will agree with me that it really was not too difficult or too scary. Okay? Number 7, the directions for both the parent and the student will come in the mail with the exercise itself. And then number 8, part of that exercise is due. It needs to be turned in by May 7th. So now we're going to wind down. If you have questions about anything, just give me a call or email me. We'll get this exercise in the mail here in the next few days. Don't forget your homework from last week. Was there homework from last week? If there was homework from last week, it's due today. All right, friends, we will talk to you along the way. It's been a delight to have you in class this year. It's been an unusual year for sure, but it's been great fun for me. I hope you've learned something that will help you in the future. See you soon.